What's up, guys, and welcome to another training with me, Colter, former top producing team member of 6 years. Got to a place where I was writing 200 plus life insurance applications every single year with over $100,000 in submitted annual life premium, all while doing health at a high level and the auto, the P&C at a high level as well. And so a lot of team members will come up to me and they'll say, hey, how did you become so consistent? How did you get your production to this high level like consistently? 200 life apps a year, that's a lot to do and be consistent in. Like, how did you do it? And what's funny, like a lot of team members have these beliefs that in order to get that type of production, like you need to have these outlandish skills. You need to learn how to overcome objections and steamroll people. That's really just not the case, right? One thing I want to talk about today is prospecting. And I want you to understand that if you want to find consistency in selling, you need to have consistency in prospecting. You need to have a prospecting system where you can fill the top of the funnel, the top of the pipeline with more and more opportunities. And you need to get in the habit of doing that every single day. One common thing that I see a lot of team members do is things start going really well and they start to write a lot of business. And let's say on a Tuesday, your calendar is booked from 9 to 5 with appointments where you're closing business, that on those days it becomes very easy to not prospect, to not make time because, I don't have time to prospect. I don't have time to find because I'm just closing new business. And in your mind, you're like, man, life is good. Life is really good. Things are going really well, right? That it's easy in those situations to not prospect because you don't have time and you're selling a lot of policies. So why would I need a prospect because things are going really well? What will happen is if you find yourself in that situation, you find yourself in that mindset, you've probably experienced like a roller coaster of your production where there's a lot of inconsistency to where it's like you crush it one month and maybe the next month, and then a few months you go through a dry spell. And then you crush it again and then you go through a dry spell. Right? It's this roller coaster, this inconsistency with your production. You're crushing it maybe for a couple months and then you fall and it's a dry spell. And I feel like if you've found yourself in this type of a situation, and I know I have, becomes very discouraging. It becomes hard to sustain. And maybe you start to feel a little burnt out. And the biggest thing is it's inconsistent. It's unpredictable, right? And so I want to teach you a little bit of how you can take you can go away from this, crush it 1 month, couple months, and then you go through a dry spell. Like, how can we get rid of these inconsistencies and just make it more consistent of like, we're just selling more policies? That was not a good drawing there. But again, what can we do to get away from the ups and downs and just become more consistent? Writing 20 life apps a month isn't something that we do a couple months out of the year, but it's like what we do every month out of the year. Like, how do we get there? A big thing that I think is overlooked is it's prospecting, okay? And so what do we do to have a consistent flow of prospects entering the top of our funnel or opportunities entering the top of our funnel? It's that we've got to prospect and we've got to do it every single day. We need to make it systematic to where regardless if we're writing a lot of policies or we're not, we're always prospecting. We always have something that we're doing every day where we are creating new opportunities for ourselves, okay? And for me as a team member, I'm just gonna walk you through my day. I would get into the office. About 8:30, we do a training for about a half an hour, and then 9 o'clock hits, the phones turn on. I was in a hybrid sales service role, so I'm helping field phone calls coming in, helping service the book of business, but my primary goal is to sell new business, to sell more business. And so what was my structure of my day? What was my mindset when I get into the office? I'll tell you, from 9 to 11 a.m., I was extremely focused on prospecting. I was focused on income producing activities. From 9 to 11, what am I gonna do to create opportunities for myself, fill this funnel of opportunities, but also push them down this funnel of my current opportunities down this funnel so I can actually start closing more deals, close more business. But from 9 to 11, like, this was my time to go out and be very proactive, take initiative, and create opportunities for myself, but also push those opportunities down this funnel so I could close more business. That is what my focus was every single day, 9 to 11. That's just what I did, okay? 9 to 11, like it was part of my routine. It was systematic every single day, regardless if I was selling policies or if I wasn't. I was prospecting, okay? So I want you to think about this. There are different prospecting strategies that are being implemented for insurance team members across the country, okay? I want you to think about what are my top 3 or 4 prospecting strategies that I'm using today to get more business, to close more auto and fire new business, to close more life and health insurance new business. What are my prospecting strategies to do that? Okay? Identify your top 3 or 4 strategies of what you're doing, okay? So if we go through this, for example, I'm going to walk you through the top 3 prospecting strategies that I had specific to selling life insurance as a team member that allowed me to have 200 plus life insurance applications every year consistently, right? It's getting to a point where it was like 15 to 20 life apps a month was just standard. It was what I was doing, and being able to prospect every day and make that consistent and systematic from 9 to 11 every single day was one piece to the puzzle, a big piece, right? That allowed to make sure there's a consistent opportunity flow that would ensure that I was consistently selling, right? And so the top 3 or 4 prospecting strategies that you're implementing, I want you to think about your process here. What are the ones that you're doing? And if you want to do this, pause this and write them down. But I'm going to share with you my top 3 prospecting strategies specifically to write more life insurance business. So the first one was because I was in a hybrid sales service role, because I was fielding in inbound calls from our current customers, one of my first ones was pivoting off of service, okay? That was a prospecting strategy that as I started to understand my customers, understand the insurance industry, and understand the opportunities that I was getting every day to write life insurance, I realized that is a really high leverage opportunity. Pivoting to my current customers that are calling in that need us to service their policies, that was a high leverage opportunity. Why? Because they're already our customers, so they already trust us to a degree. A lot of that is already done, okay? Like half of the battle is to build this trust with people. That's already done with our current customers to a certain degree, right? Number 2, they were calling me. Instead of me having to like make these outbound phone calls and wondering if people are gonna pick up, and I know you guys know how that goes. If you call 10 people outbound, how many of them are answering you? What I've heard from a lot of team members is like 2 to 3. And I know that was the case for me as well. So like they're calling me. Now, even if they do pick up when I call outbound, they may not be in a position where they can listen to me because maybe they just got in an argument with their spouse or their coworker. Maybe they've had a rough morning, or maybe they're going to their kid's soccer game, or they're trying to plan this trip, or they're going to an orientation at their kid's school. Me calling out, it's hard, even if they do answer, to get them to a position where they can actually listen to me and not be on the phone with me, but actually not like actually be present with me on the phone. And it's no matter what I was saying when I'd call on these outbound things, like it was hard to get the customer to actually listen to me. And so that's why service pivoting became a high leverage opportunity for me, a high leverage prospecting opportunity to sell life insurance. Okay. And that was specific to my role. I was doing a lot of service. And so I knew a lot of team members around me, they were thinking, and I would always hear, if I only had more time if I only had more time and I didn't have all these customers and all this service to do, then I could sell more life insurance. I bought into that belief early on. But the more I understood it and the more that I tried to call on these outbound lists and just understand that, holy crap, these guys are calling me. I already have their attention. They already trust me. This is an opportunity for me to over deliver and set myself up for a life insurance opportunity. When I started to think about it like that and I started to implement it, I started to see the massive success that came from that, right? It was like people were calling me. I didn't have to worry about calling them. So service pivots, that was a big piece to my prospecting strategy every single day. So even though I've got this 9 to 11 time blocked, guys, I was proactive. I was answering the phone, okay? Because I was hungry for those opportunities, okay? And I think understanding this is gonna help a lot of you that are in this hybrid sales service role, but also have the mindset of take care plus one. Like for this to work and for this to work really well for you, you can't just like skimp on taking care of your customers, right? Because if you skimp on taking care of them, and they feel that the sales opportunity might not be as good as you maybe have thought it was because you're skimping. But if you truly over deliver and you truly help them, just think about your relationship with them. Think about the trust you would have built, even though they would already had some sort of trust because they were current customers. But like with you specifically, just think about the opportunity then, right? If you over deliver, your recommendations are going to carry a lot more weight. Okay, so service pivots were a big one. What's up, guys? Real quick, just want to let you know, if you want to get in touch with me directly, here is a one way to do it. You can text me at 435-512-1647. Again, 435-512-1647. If you've got a question around pivoting, how can I pivot effectively, overcoming objections, or whatever topic that you feel like you could use help in right now, text me and we'll get you some resources over. We'll get you some trainings over. But also, if you want to get involved with us here at the Team Member Perspective and you want to plug into a community of high performers, of people that are playing at a really high level, if you want to get around those people and learn what they're doing and train with us and practice with us, please text me. We can get you some more details. Again, that phone number is 435-512-1647. Appreciate you and enjoy. The second one was lists, okay? This was another prospecting strategy that I had. Every single day from 9 to 11, I was calling on lists, okay? When I'm not answering the phone, I have a list that I'm working on, specifically with life insurance. And I know a lot of us, we're now in this life insurance promotion, and as we get towards the end of the year, a lot of us are behind on life insurance. Lists are going to be a game changer for you in your agency. If you're not running them or you're not running them consistently, here's your sign to start, right? You've got a current book of business of people that trust you. Again, trust here, service pivots, we got trust because they're our customers. Lists, they're our current customers, they trust us, right? We have an opportunity to write a lot of life insurance from running lists. Now, what I find is that a lot of us are running like the standard, the typical lists that like we run into the ground. Coulter, we're running lists, and I find out what lists they're running and what they're not running, and I find out that the ones that they're running is what everybody runs and runs into the ground. All of the cars on our book of business, all the autos that don't have autos with no multi-line discount or single line auto list. That's what I mean with that one, right? We're running that list. We're running the homeowners list. Okay, like we're running these other lists. I think part of the list is like understanding like there's different lists that you can run in your agency that are very high leverage. And those are things that we train on, but a couple of them that I'm gonna hint at here are like with lists, what I like to think about is I want some reason to call the customer, right? Outside of me wanting to confirm information or review, like I want a reason to call them. And so one list that I found very high leverage is all of the youthful drivers that are on the book of business from ages 16 to 24. And my reason for calling them was I wanted to confirm that they were taking advantage of all of the discounts that they were qualifying for, but also if there was any sort of gap, hole, or concern that I would let them know about that, okay? But with this young driver list, I had a reason to call them, and the first reason outside of selling people was I want to confirm that you have all the discounts that that you can take advantage of here, because young drivers are expensive. Another one is all of the autos that are renewing in September, or the homeowners policies that are renewing in September. Why do I like that one? Because it gives me a reason to call the customer. Hey, Mr. Customer, this is Coulter with XYZ Agency. I'm calling because I noticed that your 2024 Toyota RAV4 is renewing, and I've noticed a few ways to improve your coverage and decrease your cost. Do you have a couple minutes? I have a reason. I'm calling because it's renewing, okay? And so we train on different lists, but like lists are things that you should be doing in the interim if you're a hybrid role where you're doing a lot of service. Like number one, take advantage of all those phone calls that you're getting in your offices. Like take care plus one. But in the interim, if the phone's not ringing, like we don't want to just rely on the phone ringing, because what if we get in the office that day and there's a lot less calls than usual? It becomes unpredictable. I don't know. That's why I want to have some sort of outbound initiative approach, calling on these lists where I can call and put myself in a position to win, okay? And again, in our team member perspective group, we get into the details of these specific lists and of exactly, okay, so I've got this name. We train you on all of the prep work that you can do beforehand to be compelling in your conversation when you call them, but also instead of like just calling the name, like you now are prepared. You have some sort of approach. We'll train you on that approach and what that preparation looks like. We'll train you on your opening. What are you saying when they answer that phone call? We'll train you on how to get a higher response rate, get more people to answer or call you back. We'll train you on those things. We'll also train you on how to build value in a conversation. Help your customer understand the problem or risk that they might face, right? Which creates urgency to go forward with your solution. And we train you on how to help the customer understand the real benefits that they would get by following through with this. So it's not just a discount play, but it's a value-driven play. But there's strategy that we can use, and those are the things we train on with these lists. But that was part of my prospecting strategy and system every day, was from 9 to 11, I'm answering these inbound calls because I understood the leverage of that opportunity. But then in the interim, I'm banging out these lists. I always have some sort of outbound approach with these lists that I could call, follow up on, okay? And then one of the next ones is prospecting strategy here is going to be follow-up, okay? You're probably thinking, Colter, that's not prospecting. In my mind, it is, okay? From 9 to 11, that is what I would do, is I would follow up with opportunities that I had created for myself from 9 to 11, okay? There's a lot of people that you started a life insurance conversation with that like you just forgot about, right? Or maybe you only followed it up with them once or twice, but this follow-up, right, allowed me to move some of these people to the next stage or even get closer to selling the policy, okay? And so follow-up is something that I would focus on in prospecting, right? From 9 to 11 in the morning, I was following up with people, okay? An outbound initiative to get people that maybe were on the fence or that I had sparked some sort of curiosity or interest with and help progress them forward to eventually close the deal. And so these are just three that I implemented as a team member from 9 to 11 every single day. Now, some of you might have thought, Colter, 9 to 11, like people aren't answering the phones from then. I beg to differ. They definitely answer the phone. I know that because I did it, okay? So you don't know until you try it, but I want you to think about this a little bit differently as well. People are rested, right? From 9 to 11, they're just starting their day, and so I find that they're not so burnt out from the day already. So when you call them, they're in a better mood. And when they're in a better mood, they'll actually listen to you and actually consider things rather than just say, oh, I'm not interested, I'm good, I need to talk to my spouse. Like, they're not burnt out from the day, like mentally they're not fried yet. And so getting them from 9 to 11, it's actually a really good time to do that, okay? Now, if you wanna take it to a whole new level, outside of doing it from 9 to 11, you've got your morning block of prospecting. Maybe you also add in that 3 to 4 or 3 to 5 or 2 to 3, like add in another time block where you can make sure that you're like have an intention and that every day, maybe you wanna time block and prospect in both of these areas. Because I want you to think about this. If your goal is to sell more policies, hopefully with this training, you've written down 3 or 4 of your top prospecting activities that help you write more life insurance. I hope you've written those down. If you haven't, pause the video and do it right now. What are you doing? And if you wrote down these 3 things, like I'm pivoting off a service, a list, follow-up, what percentage of your day would you say you're dedicating to these things, to prospecting? What percentage of your day, right? That might be an indication for you that maybe you just need to do more, right? And if you want to get to a whole new level, do more than just this one time block, right? Time block more time to where you have the intention to prospect and to do these income producing activities. But what percentage of your day are you spending with these income producing activities, with these prospecting strategies, okay? Okay, so biggest thing that honestly I see with a lot of team members is they don't have a system. They don't have a system of prospecting. And the easiest way to do that is just to do this. 9 to 11, this is what we do. And the reason I like 9 to 11 as well is because I find that early on in my day, if I can get a life insurance policy submitted before 11 a.m., the momentum I build for myself and I create for the rest of the day, it's incredible. Like it helps tremendously. But also, it mentally, it eases the anxiety of producing, but it allows me to be more present and actually in a position where I can help people and away from this desperation. Because I've already gotten this much closer to my goals today. And if I can do that early on in the day, it sets me up for the rest of the day. Same thing with outside of the week. Mondays are big days for me. Mondays are days that I really tried to build momentum. They're momentum building days for me. That if I can write 2 or 3 life insurance applications on Monday, I'm set up for the rest of the week to perform more naturally with less pressure. And I find that I perform a little bit better then, but it also monthly. First of the month, I hit it hard because why? Well, I want to set myself up for an incredible month and make sure that I'm like getting closer. And so the first of the day for me, the first of the week, and the first of the month are big times where I really dial in on this prospecting, on making sure that I'm taking an initiative and I'm making it happen early. And I found that just by having that mindset and implementing this system of doing it the first of the day, first of the week, first of the month, first of the year, I set myself up for the rest of the day, week, month, or year in a beautiful way. But also, I'm making sure that this gets done every single day. A lot of you are like, yeah, Colter, I have this prospecting hour at 3 to 4 o'clock, and which is good, but if you're not actually doing it, that's where it's not effective and efficient for you. And think about it, 3 to 4, by that time of the day, guys, I'm mentally drained. And I don't know what happened before 3 o'clock that maybe would have affected my confidence negatively, like put me in a lower position of confidence. I don't really know. Maybe, heck, I have something at 2:30 that drags me all the way on till 5:30, and I made this time, but I actually didn't follow through with it. So like doing it early in the morning, like as soon as you get in, doing it first, for me, allowed me to make sure that it always got done, okay? And so if you want to have more consistency in your life insurance sales, in your health insurance sales, your P&C sales, don't forget about prospecting. Have some sort of consistent, systematized prospecting strategy and system that you follow every day to make sure that you're continuing to create more opportunities to fill this top of this funnel, but also remember the people that are in your funnel already. What are we doing to push those people down and advance these people forward? If you can do that, make sure it gets done every single day, 5 days a week, beautiful things start to happen. So appreciate you guys. Hope that this was valuable for you. If you are interested, or if you're like, Colter, I would like to know a little bit more about these prospecting strategies. Comment below. Let us know if you want to learn a little bit more about service pivots, lists, follow-up, or reach out to us. Go to our website, tmperspective.com. Go contact us. Fill out a form. Let us know which of these you feel like you could benefit from. And if you want more details on this, and we can get you some training sent over. We can get you into our next live session so you can see how we train on these things and what you can do, what you can implement to get to that next level. So again, always be prospecting, always be finding, and you'll find more consistency in your sales. Appreciate you. Have a good week.